Hello, 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 Cope, Hope, and Thrivers. Thank you for choosing Cope, Hope, and Thrive today. I am so proud of you for making an investment in yourself, for taking the time to pause and build yourself, support the growth in your life. It's so easy these days to just get caught up in the rat race and just roll along and let life just do whatever. But today you've made a choice to say, I want to impact my life. So I'm proud of you for doing that. And thank you for stopping by Cope, Hope, and Thrive. So we have been talking about vision. We've been talking about vision boards, our one word. Um, you've just completed your vision board. You've chosen your one word. You have your vision board. Or you've created whatever physical representation you have of your word and created that visual to remind yourself of what it is that you're doing. And we utilized Psalm 119, 105, Habakkuk 2 2, and Proverbs 29:18. Habakkuk 2 2, and the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablet, so he may run who reads it. We are using that verse to encourage us to create our board, to create the plan, to create whatever it is we're doing, so that we can continue to grow and blossom and make some changes for the better in our life. So today's focus is now what? Now what? I got my board, wherever you put it, or however you did it. Maybe you hung it up somewhere. You have it on your phone as your screensaver, on your laptop. Now that you've got it, okay, I'm done. Got my word. What do I do next? So that's what we're going to talk about today. What are the next steps? What do you do? How do you make room in your life and adjustments for this new thing that you've done? Having a one word, having a vision board, how do you make room for the next steps? So while you were creating your vision board, you looked up the definition of that word so that you could see all the different nuances that go into that word. So you could look for your visuals and your scriptures and your quotes. So I want you to go back to that definition. Look at that word and go, okay, in order for me to do this, you're going to ask yourself, why is this important? So go back and select the aspect of the word that you're going to focus on, and then why is that important? Because the why that's important is going to help you determine the second step, which is asking yourself, what habits do I need to create to make this come to play, to make this a reality in my life? So select the areas. So my word is stewardship. And the aspect of stewardship I'm focusing on is the investing part. It is the building in other people, the building in a couple different areas of my life, one of which is my health. Um, so, why is that important? Well, I need to be healthy to do all the different things. And I want to invest in the lives of those around me, steward the relationships that I have, steward my leadership ability on my job so that I can be better, so that I can be efficient, so that I can really connect with people, family, different things. So, all that is why. So, in order to do all of that, number two, what habits do I need to build? Just choose one to three. Don't choose a whole bunch. One to three habits. And even out of the three, you're going to focus on the one that you need to build the most. So, what does building this habit look like? So, you've selected the area. What habits do you need to create to make this word a reality? And then, what does that look like? Number three, what does that look like? You're gonna write it down. Write it down, and then make sure that when you're writing it down and your step by step, that you include a reward. So I'm gonna give you an example, and I'm gonna show you something that helped me, something that I read recently. So my word is stewardship, and of course, one aspect of stewardship is I need a workout schedule. Just like as long as I just keep saying I'm a workout, but that I don't put it on the calendar, I don't put it in my calendar, I don't navigate my days so that I am working out. It's not gonna happen. So, in order to create the workout schedule, I realized I need to adjust my work schedule. What does my work schedule look like? So, I can make sure I'm either working out before I leave or when I come back in the afternoon. So, one thing I want to share with you is this book I read, The Power of Habit. Why Do We Do What We Do in Life and Business? It's by Charles Duhigg. And something he said in his book, and I quote, this explains why it's so hard to create exercise habits, for instance, or change what we eat. Once we develop our routine of sitting on the couch rather than running or snacking whenever we pass a donut box, these patterns always remain inside our heads. By the same rule, though, if we learn to create new neurological routines that overpower these behaviors, if we take control of the habit loop, we can force those bad tendencies into the background. So I'm thinking about if I'm going to work out in the morning, I need to overcome hitting the snooze button. I need to overcome laying in the bed for a few more minutes, and that's what he's talking about. Exercise habits are difficult because we already have something sitting on the sofa or coming home after work and just sitting down for 20-30 minutes, and I could be working out for 20-30 minutes. So when I say what habits do you need to create, it is analyzing your life and going, okay, I need to replace a few things. What am I going to replace? How is that going to look? What do I need to set up? So, another quote I like, he says, an efficient brain also allows us to stop thinking constantly about basic behaviors, such as walking and choosing what to eat, so we can devote mental energy to inventing fancy things. He was talking about how the brain is developed to be creative. So when we create habits that become permanent, it frees up the mental space that we can utilize to create and do things. Because a lot of times, if exercising is not a habit, if eating right is not a habit, then we spend time fretting over, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to eat better. Well, once we develop the habit, it becomes a normal part of what you do every day, then you can free up the mental space to do other things. So that was in Charles Duhigg's book, and he's talking about the habit loop. He also has this journal. It's a planner, a 12-month weekly planner. And in this planner, he has these great visuals: how to create a brand new habit, how to change a habit. And he sets out and he says, you have a cue, you have a routine, and then you have a reward. So when we talk about writing down the step by step, what is this habit going to look like? The cue. What's going to start my habit? When I hear the alarm go off, when I get home after work and I'm changing clothes, my cue. When I change clothes, I'm going to put on my workout clothes. When I wake up in the morning and my alarm goes off, um, Mel Robbins says count to five and then get up and do it. What's going to be my cue? What time of day is it? Who's around me? How am I going to feel? So, yeah, it's like, well, I'm just creating a habit. I know there's all these intentional things that when you intentionally think about them and you intentionally plan them, then it sets your brain up to do it more likely. You're more likely to do it. Writing it down, your brain is more likely to do it versus just sitting and go, okay, yep, I need to do that. When you take the time to select what is the habit. I'm going to build this habit. Maybe it's you need to focus. Maybe your word is renew. Your word is restore. Whatever your word is, and you've selected that area. In order to get that area up and moving, what are the habits you need to create? And then you write the habit and then create that habit. What does the habit look like? It looks like getting up at 4:45, putting on your clothes, for me, putting on my clothes, walking to the garage, setting it for 10 minutes. And then I was like, okay, wait, what am I going to do? I need to have either a YouTube video or a workout that I'm going to utilize on my Apple Watch or your Fitbit or my Fitness Pal. There's all these different tools that will set up an 8-minute video, a 10-minute video, Or you create your own schedule. I'm going to do 5 minutes on the elliptical, or I'm going to do 5 minutes, 10 minutes on the treadmill, and then 10-minute workout, or whatever. It is creating that habit. What are you going to do step by step by step? If you're going to, you want to eat better. Part of your word is eating better. Well, then when are you going to go to the grocery shopping? When are you going to clean out your pantry? How are you going to meal prep? It's like writing all those things out helps your brain to focus on actually doing it. It works on the motivation, and then you're able to set up the mental capacity for what you're doing. So what the cue? What is the thing that's gonna spark you to do it? And then you create the routine. How am I gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then in there you gotta reward yourself. Just like when children are being potty trained, and they go to the bathroom, yay! They get a sticker, their cheers, there's a reward, even if they just sat down. So the cue is up. You have to go to the bathroom, and you got to go potty. You take them. They're even if they don't go, and so they get used to that little routine, and they like the reward. We think about Pavlov and the whole dog thing. They ring the bell, and the dog comes to eat. We're the same way. What is going to be the cue? What's going to be the thing that sets us off? I'm going to get up in the morning or after work, create the routine, and then what is your reward going to be? And the reward doesn't have to be tangible. It could be the feeling. It could be the high five. I have a sticker chart in my garage, so I put stickers, and just being able to take that little star and put on that chart feels good. That's my reward, being able to put my sticker, because then I go, oh wow, look at all I kept my stars, and it's a good feeling. You definitely want your things to be intrinsic, but then your big reward, when you've managed and you've mastered the habit, could be that big thing where going shopping, doing some, wardrobe changes, or a trip somewhere, or whatever. You want to build that in. So, and then as you're in this process, and once you start going about doing the steps, you're going to reflect. Does this work? No, that doesn't work. I need to reflect it. So, you're going to spend some time developing the habit. I know I grew up with 21 days is how a habit is formed. Yes and no. Research now says the 21 days is how long it takes to develop the pathway in your brain to the habit. And then it takes an additional two sets of 21, so 42 days of practice, 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 doing the same thing over and over again in order for it to become a permanent wiring in the brain. So it's actually 63 days that it takes for your brain to develop the connections, the synapses, and everything, for the habit to become a permanent part, to where you're not even thinking about doing it. It's just part of who you are, part of what you do, and then you get it done. So I know it's like we want quick, fast, in a hurry. No, change is progressive. It's not the perfection, it's the progress. And it requires that discipline to do it every day, every day, every day, so that it becomes a permanent part of our brain. So, I also, another example is I love to read, and I love books, and oh my gosh, I have so many unfinished books. So I've been working on that for a while too. So this year I decided to select the books that I wanted to read in my first 90 days of the year, and I have put them all in a bag. This bag was a gift from someone, a friend of mine. And in my bag, I've got the books these are the only books that I'm going to read. I've got a Bible study. I've got some, couple of things that I want to do for the children that I'm working with. I have some fiction books in here. Everything that I want to read is in here. And I've been tempted to add to this bag. No, can't add to the bag, and that's hard, because I went recently, took a trip, and the other people around me are reading this book, and I'm like, no, it's not on my 90 days. It's going to be on my next 90 days. These are the only books that I am going to read. So I packed this bag around with me When I get up in the morning and I do my quiet time, the bag comes with me. When I'm traveling somewhere, the bag comes with me. These are the only things that I'm reading. This is my habit that I've created so that it helps me to focus on, or I'm working on the habit and developing it, that helps me to focus on just these are the only things I'm doing. And then I don't have to deal with, oh, what I want to read. Oh, I've got all these books I need to choose from. No, I've already chosen. So that takes the decision making part out of the way. I just reach in and I pick out and I choose. And it has been so helpful. It is like, just know if I'm right when I go to bed, let me pull something out. So that is an example of me stewarding my time and then stewarding um, what I'm building in myself, my own professional development as well as personal development and enjoyment. Because I got some fiction books in there that I want to read, that I'm trying to finish. So, what is the habit? What are you going to create in order to help yourself be successful with that habit? Creating the action plan makes a difference. So, number one, let me recap. Number one, you select the area of your one word. What's the area you're going to focus on? No more than three things. Number two, what habits do you need to create in your life in order for that thing to be successful? Number three, what does it look like? Write it down and include some type of reward for yourself, because that dopamine, boom, that good feeling is going to help you move forward. When you celebrate little things and you're grateful and thankful, it makes a difference. And so when you are creating the step by step, when you're creating what does this habit look like, you're going to come across some things. I've already shared it before. I had to look at my work schedule. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I not going to do? The challenge question is, what is not helping you? What are some things that you're going to have to let go of? You know, in the quote I read from Charles Duhigg's book, is like when we get used to sitting on the sofa, how am I going to change sitting on the sofa? I need to let that go. So that might mean watching less TV. That might mean eating at a different time. That might mean, just I need to get up earlier. I need to stop hitting the snooze button. I can only hit the snooze button one time. So what is the thing that's in the way? What is the obstacle? What is not helping you? Identifying it and dealing with it and making the decision, nope, I'm not doing that. And then having somebody to help you be accountable to letting that go. Because hitting the snooze button, not hitting the snooze button is hard. Coming to, especially when you got your routine, I come home, I get dressed, put my comfortable clothes on, and then I watch TV for the rest of the night. And then I look up and it's 9 o'clock, and what have I done with myself? Nothing. So you're going to have to identify the negative habits that you need to put aside, overcome, deal with, and make the decision. Um, Make a list of those things or that thing, then reflect on how it impacts your life. And all this little reflection, all this thinking, all of it helps your brain to say, no, this is not what we're doing. Yes, this is what we're doing. So then you can work towards creating that habit. You can work towards moving forward so that you can do exactly what you need to do. So again, I'm going to recap one more time so you can move forward. Number one, choose your area. And number two, what are the habits? Number three, what is it? What do those habits look like? Create that plan. And then, hey, you will be closer to our scripture of Habakkuk 2:2. And the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. So I may run when I read it. So when I see my vision board, I look at whatever that thing is to remind myself, what is it I'm doing? Why am I here? What's next? Oh yeah, that's what I said. Encourage yourself and remember, small steps. This habit building thing, it takes some time. So you're going to be frustrated. So that's when you look at your vision board. That's when you look at the quote you have. When you look at the scripture. When you look at the picture. To go, oh, wait, no. I got to keep going, keep going, keep going. Start, stop, start, stop. That's okay. Just keep starting. Keep starting. Keep starting. So Thank you for joining today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, or share this with someone in your life. Thank you for hanging with Melissa as we figure out where we're going, what we're doing, as we cope, hope, and